Chapter 17, Confessions. I had to take the whole weekend just to do this. 40 pages of paragraphs on paragraphs of Edward's inner monologue, culminating to nothing. Ugh. The one chapter I was looking forward to as I was 12 reading this when it was leaked, and it is the worst one so far. Okay, here we go. Bella asks if it hurts. No. She circles around him, smiling, and he wonders why she's not frightened. She has no survival instincts, that's why. And she calls it beautiful. He asks if she's repulsed. You look like you're covered in glitter. No, humanity is overrated, and he thinks she values humanity too lightly. Yeah, I have to agree with him on that. I read the next 3 books after Twilight. He walks to the middle of the meadow to compose himself, focusing on Bella's scent, but not thinking of her blood, but describing it for a paragraph. Yeah, totally not thinking about it. And he wonders if Bella knows of his turmoil. Well, I definitely do. I read 17 chapters of it. He counts her heartbeats and wonders if he's ready, and starts identifying different noises, then does calculations, and then songs he knows. Now I know why this book is so damn long. Bella finally touches his hand, and he puts it on her face. More Twilight dialogue, and he sees her lips are close and they're jugular, and he gets a venom boner, and he runs together into the meadow, and he feels like a monster. And Bella cries and apologizes. He says to give him a moment, then apologizes. Finally, Bella feels fear. And thinks finally she'll run and save herself. No. He goes on that everything attracts prey to me rant. It could have worked in a better book. Like the Dawn described it as Venus flytrap or an anglerfish luring its prey in. Too bad she drops it. And then he runs around the meadow, and a paragraph of throwing a branch, and now his anger is gone. Bella asks for him to come back. Edward says not to be afraid. Then what the fuck was that? You ran around saying how much you're a monster and a killer you are, and then you chuck a tree at her. 100 years old and you have no brains. And promises not to hurt her and knows it's a pathetic apology. You're damn right it is. And he thinks of when he came back home after his murder spree. Of course, Carlisle and Esme were happy he returned. Bella says she is afraid she can't stay with him. More Hades and pomegranate schlock. He says he's too selfish to leave her. I know. And tells her he's dangerous to her more than anything. The heroine speech. He thinks how his family feels, their thirst, and how Emmett slipped only twice, and Carla has them attend their victims' funerals. How fucked up is that? Okay, you're apologizing by attending their funerals, but from a human's perspective, that's a killer going to gloat. That's the type of stuff the FBI and cops look out for when they're trying to find a murderer. Ugh. Edward says it's like falling off a wagon. Killing people is like falling off a wagon. Okay, you're murdering people. You're not an alcoholic. This is doing major harm. Ugh. And thinks Bella underestimated his depravity. That one's full of melodramatic, I'm a monster. Ugh. You're the type of emo kids people that sits alone at the lunch table. And he quickly says there is hope. And slips that Emmett killed before, and he almost killed a room full of children and her, and would have ruined everything Carlisle built for them. And no thought about, the 20 families whose children were just slaughtered just for going to school. Ugh. More dialogue with Edward's monologue, and he wonders when Bella when Bella would have got hit by the van, he would have revealed them, and they'd have to flee. More dialogue and inner monologue. He remembers when Carlisle would sneak into an old churches on the countryside and look at the paintings. This would have been a much better book. You know, a deeply religious man turned into a monster and spending centuries like trying to cling onto what's familiar to him, like churches, and trying to find like his humanity. Like, where is this book? Definitely not in Twilight, because Stephanie's not a good enough writer. The lamb line. Bella asks what she did wrong to make him leave. He says he was just surprised at her scent, and he starts caressing her jaw and holds her face in his hands, and he wants to kiss her then and leans against her throat and listens to her heartbeat and breathed in her scent and imagines killing her. But now knows he'll protect Bella, and sure, Alice sees it too. Everything changed. Bella then feels up his face, and Edward wants to so many things, but he's too strong, she's too fragile. I don't know, Ed, the Denali sisters seem to do fine with all their human boyfriends. Then he hungers. The hungers he has are foreign. It's called being horny. He holds her until they have to leave, but he decides to show her how he travels. She climbs on his back, and he runs happier with Bella close to him, and she's woozy when he stops. After a while, she feels better. Ed says he wants to try something and kisses her and calls it alchemy. Bella tries to deepen it, but he pulls her off because she's getting another venom boner and needs to compose himself. Bella apologizes and he dazzles her. Like, I just imagine throwing glitter in her face. Makes this book so much better. And he sort of forces her to let him drive, and for once, he's grateful for what he is, so he can have Bella, but never wanted to be the old him, and kisses her neck. And that's the end of chapter 17. 40 fucking pages. And the next one is 30.